Hey everyone, welcome back to the restoration shop. Today we're going to be moving around some stuff. As you've seen in the last 63 video, we got the engine out. So what we're going to do with this is we're going to move it down to this other building. There's a nice clean spot down there. We can just roll it in until we get a truck down here to haul it out to the body shop. So we're going to roll this thing out, and there's a bunch of crates in the back of the shop here and just mess everywhere. So we're going to try and get cleaned up, move some of this stuff out of here so we got extra room, and thinking about getting the car over here so we could start messing around with it and see what all we're getting into with that, and just moving things around and see where we get. So as you guys can see, we got the peat out of here, got the floor cleaned up, other than all this stuff from the peat that we'll probably end up putting over on the other side. But I'll try and get you a wide angle. It looks 10 times better in here. We still gotta find a spot to get the toolbox. But it looks a lot cleaner in here. And I think what we're gonna end up doing is, with this bench here, it's nice heavy duty. We were talking about welding a piece of 1/4-inch plate on the top so it's nice and smooth, and mount a vise to that. And also with this little thing, it's like 1/2 inch, or no, that's like 3/4 C-channel. We were thinking about cutting this one in half and then putting the pieces together and making a little bit wider table, and end up putting it over on the other side here. But for right now, we are going to work on getting the old Desoto over here so we can start tearing into this. What are you doing?
I don't know.
Bubba's just trying to get the compressor hooked up and get these tires aired up. We also got this Mustang here. I don't think we showed this at all. This is actually my grandpa's Mustang. I think it's a, I want to say, what did we say this was, 64 and a half?
Yeah. Was that first? 64 and a half?
I don't know. Because he said the 64 came with a generator and this one came with an alternator.
Oh, yeah.
So there's a few things that need done on this, and I told him I'd bring it down here and do it for them, so we're gonna be working on that as well. But for right now, we're focusing on getting a Desoto over on the other side and see what all is gonna be involved with this thing. But we don't have any lights over here for some reason. Don't know what's going on with them. I don't know if it's a voltage issue, if there's a wire crossed somewhere, but I think we're getting too high voltage and it seems like we keep blowing bulbs, so we'll have to look into that. But for right now, we just got our makeshift drop light. It's actually a ceiling light, but we've been using it as just a drop light. And so since we're messing around with drop lights and extension cords and stuff, I'm not sure how much footage we're gonna get over on this side of the shop, but we're gonna yank this thing out, try and get it on the other side. I don't think we showed in the last, or any of the videos, but we ended up working on the brakes, because if you guys seen way back whenever we drug this thing out of the woods, the brakes were locked up. So hopefully they're still free and roll pretty easily. And we're gonna see what happens here. All right, so we made it in here fairly easily. Just a little bit of a backstory on this car here. Quite a few years ago, I was walking around with my cousin. We were just nosing around at his grandma's house, and this thing was sitting down in the weeds. This is a 55 DeSoto. When I first saw it, I saw the bubble roof and everything, and I didn't really go down into the woods and look at it, but I'm like, man, that would be sweet to fix that thing up. And a few years go by and I forgot all about it, and then I got a bright idea. Why don't we try and get a hold of this thing? So I'll link the video of us dragging it out in the description if you guys want to go back and watch that. Now, it is pretty rough. The rear quarters and stuff are, well, basically the whole bottom of it. It was sitting in the dirt to the bottom of the body here. We decided to drag it out and see how bad it actually is. Now, the nice thing is all the emblems and everything are pretty much here, other than what, there was a few letters on the trunk.
Yeah, I think
that we're missing.
Still one. I think I found the T and the S in the glove box, but I think one of the O's is still missing.
Yeah, so we're gonna have to try and find that, but other than that, everything is pretty much here. I mean, there's a little bit of rot on the bumper here, but for the most part, I don't know. There was a few comments about how the Dodge was pretty similar. If we could find a Dodge around this era and maybe snag some panels off of it, because I did a little bit of research and I couldn't find a whole lot of body panels, maybe some floor pans and stuff for this. But this does have a Hemi in it.
Yeah, I'm not positive yet exactly what it is. As with the comments, there was all kinds of comments of what it was. I think it's a 271. I've heard somebody saying it's a 291, but till I get the we get it cleaned up and get the number off the block, I guess you might not know for sure. It was locked up. If you do check out the original video, we mentioned that, and I did pull the plugs out and squirt some
What is that concoction there?
oh, that is PB Blaster and Type F ATF tranny fluid. And I had took all the plugs out, squirted them down, and just put the plug covers back on to keep any critters from wanting to get down in a plug hole. but at this point it has not freed up yet. So I don't know whether it will or not. It would be nice to get it freed up and running in here, but sometimes you can do that, but sometimes when you do more damage. If you just pull it apart and find out you got stuck rings, you're not going to score your cylinders. Cylinders might be junk already. Who knows? Maybe that's why it was parked. Maybe it's blowed up. I don't know. But
what is the Firedome? Was that just like a model or something?
yeah,
that was almost like a trim package or something, right?
well, I don't know. One on the engine. I don't remember what the Firedome exactly, unless that was just something to indicate the Hemi, because I don't know a whole lot about these. I've seen them and I know there were different ones. I know the other one, the Dodge, had a Hemi that was a red Ram. I think the Firedome might have just been the Desoto's version of it. But at this point, we need to just start getting it apart and see where we're going to be with it even. I mean, we would really love for this to turn out and be a decent car, but it's all going to depend on
What
get it apart.
what the underneath looks like.
Yeah, it might be nothing but a frame. We don't really, on a car like this, you hate to really part it out and you hate to really rat rod it, but in this little ordeal here on the door, this thing had perfect glass and molding in it, and I put it on the trailer. The doors were shut tight, but apparently I hit a bump and this driver door flew open and it kind of tweaked the post and buckled that, and it buckled the molding on the door or the fender. I think it can be rolled back out, and it must have snapped this glass. I don't know what it would have, unless it was just from the jarring it, because there wasn't a crack in this glass when we started pulling it out of the woods. So that scab is still healing over, but
It is kind of,
yeah,
it's kind of a pain to get this door open, which we
that's
don't.
because it hit there and buckled first. I need to bend that out a little bit so it doesn't catch all the time. But
We just don't want to do any more damage, so we'll go to the other side and we'll show you the interior. It's not really a pretty sight, but I'll just show you guys what we're working with here. Yeah. As we said, it was sitting down in the mud, so the floor pans are completely gone, and the headliner's falling down. It's just a mess, really. There's going to be a lot of work to do just to see what we're actually working with here, but in the end, maybe we'll just have some white wall tires to sell.
You'll see if you check out the video again, Michael found a set of original keys. It was above the sun visor. They were, a lot of the cars the companies for some reason back then used aluminum keys, and they were all but rotted away, but they were there. And so I took the trunk lock and the ignition switch out and the keys to a locksmith, and he had brass blanks for the old this series switch, so he made me 2 sets of brass keys. So we got good ignition switch and keys if anybody might need a switch.
Yeah, white wall tires and some keys, so if you're interested, let us know. But other than that, I guess we're gonna work at this little by little, and we'll have updates along the way. So keep an eye out for some future videos on this old whatever, I don't know.
Diamond in the rough.
Yeah.
Old rough chunk of coal.
But that's about it. So thank you guys for watching. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button and share this with everybody. We greatly appreciate it. We'll see you guys in the next one.